Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, sports fans from all across the globe. I am your co-host this afternoon, I believe, Mr. Riley Magnuson, checking in for East Coast Sports Investors Closing Bell. And this is Friday, June 9th. I believe I will be joined shortly by Mr. Jeff Dawson at some point during the show here. But obviously, it's Friday. I'm sure he'll come in and talk about it. I know Mr. Lucky was on Jeff's Twitter, and Jeff retweeted it as far as the Friday theme that we always talk about. But I will potentially wait until he comes back. We'll see how long it takes him to get in here. But nonetheless, happy Friday and happy NBA Finals Game 4, along with plenty of MLB action tonight as well that we will break down. I know Jeff has already had a couple good shows with a handful of guys talking college baseball, talking horse racing this morning as well. Not a horse racing person necessarily, so I'm drawing a blank on what is this weekend. I'm sure he'll pop in here in a second and tell me and make me look stupid. But nonetheless, thank you all for stopping in on this nice Friday. I believe we've got Mr. Dawson popping in any second here, so happy to be back. I've been off for a couple of days here. So we've been away from the game, but without further ado, can you hear us, Mr. Dawson?
I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me is the question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for stopping in on your show, of course, but thank you for joining me. It's been a while. I say it like that because it's been a while since you and I have talked on the air, at least here.
It has been a long, long time. I miss it. I hope, let me ask you the first question, obviously. Is the move complete or we're still working on the move?
Next Friday, and over the week, over next weekend, it will be complete. But if I turn my screen around, I've got plenty of boxes right on the other side of my computer screen here.
So we can tell all the viewers and listeners we can expect to maybe you and I get into a rhythm. We'll shoot for sometime early July. Is that fair?
Oh, I think that's more than fair. Yeah, I would say that's a decent possibility there. Yes, and then as always, I mean, we obviously have great shows. We have great shows every time, but as far as a little more consistency in the winter with football and basketball, college basketball and whatnot. But nonetheless, obviously, we're still keeping the lights on yourself and myself over here. So, nonetheless, I am pumped to be back here for NBA Finals Game 4 here. We had a random trade involving the Nuggets, which I don't know if I've ever seen a trade involving one of the NBA Finals team. Obviously, no players and nothing impacted today. But and if you hadn't been tapped into Twitter, you might not have seen it. But there was just some random draft picks shuffling around between the Nuggets and the Thunder, as far as kind of opening up potential, doing small little steps to open up a championship window and, bring in more late first round, early second round picks the next couple of years to have cheaper contracts, easier control with guys. And then they sent the Thunder a 2029 first round pick or something along those lines.
So what did Denver receive?
Denver, I can pull it up officially here, but it was something as far as I think a lot more teams should do stuff like this. Where are we at here? They are acquiring the least favorable of OKC's first-round picks in 2024, which I don't know how many it is, but obviously they've got a handful of picks. The 37th pick in the 2023 upcoming draft, and their 2024 second-round pick in exchange for a protected 2029 first-round pick. So trying to maximize their championship, this is per Woj, trying to maximize their championship window, and this deal gives them some additional chances at low-cost contracts and trade tools.
I guess, you try, excuse me, not to be a one-year wonder. So I guess,
right.
Okay, I can see it. NBA Finals. I mean, the NBA in January, I think it was on our show, actually, you and I, Mr. Lucky and a few others grabbed Denver at 12-1. As the West, we're trying to figure out the West. Every Tuesday, I would have Julian on. I'm like, is it time to get into the Clippers? What are we doing here? And you could just see no one wanted to take the reins. Denver took the reins, but the odds makers hadn't shifted it. And then I'm like, guys, I was born at night, not last night. Guys, jump on the 12-1 and we'll figure it out after that. And here we sit at 2-1. I thought I really thought Miami would. I was hoping, I guess. I thought that they were going to steal game three. They found a way to get game two. I thought that mystique of we
Mm-hmm.
figured it out and we're going to carry it. And listen, there was back and forth 7-0 runs each team during the first half. Denver got the last one before halftime to go up five. And as you know, we talk about this all the time. Those first 4 or 5 minutes of the third quarter, or in a college game, those first to the first time out are the biggest. And I think Denver went on a 7-0 run or maybe even 9-0 run. Next thing I see, it's 14, and it was thanks for playing. But for me, it was the opening number. It was two, and it only could go one way, and it did. It closed at 3.5. And Denver played a great second half. God bless them. They're up 2-1. The number started at 3. I'm seeing 3.5s. Kind of
Yep.
curious if it gets to 4 by tip off. We remember what we saw last, but as we all know, this is a absolute 1000% must win for the Heat.
Oh,
If
yeah.
they go down and lose 3-1, they should just give them the trophy, because Denver will probably be 12, 13-point favorites. I'm being a little facetious here, but the
Yeah.
fact is they could run them right off the court.
Right. And in a year where there's so many teams, I mean, we talked about a lot of teams that had a chance, but so many of these teams have flaws that I think are bigger than the top 5 teams in an average year. And so when you have obviously the Denver Nuggets or teams like the Utah Jazz over the last 5 years have had regular seasons like they did, but then you get to the playoffs and a team elevates their game, and there really wasn't that many teams that had a chance to elevate their game. The Suns was one of those teams, and then they just they ended up having their same flaws that we saw throughout the regular season. And obviously, all these teams in the East ended up, all their flaws ended up showing and coming out there. But yeah, as far as, I mean, I think you and Julian talked about it as far as how important games threes have been in this entire postseason. And the Heat have done it obviously themselves. That as that underdog team, you win game three to go up 2-1, and now the favorite is kind of shaking a little bit in their boots. So I'm not counting the Heat out tonight by any means, but it felt like game three was the one where you could really make a statement and make your name there. And obviously, if they win it tonight, it's 2-2, and they've obviously showed their poise. So I'm not counting them out, but that one was really important. And obviously, like you said, must win. There's no chance they're winning 3 games in a row. Obviously, we saw Boston do it 3 in a row, obviously fall, but and the Heat win the first 3 in that series. But I would be shocked if there was any 3-1 magic after this one.
And the books almost got a little nervous after the win by the Heat, because Denver was minus 700 after the game one win. They went to minus 220. You were catching the Heat at like plus 190, 200. Maybe I saw some 240s. My point was, if the Heat would have won game three, they would have been up 2-1, and it would have been a pick'em series. If not, now the Heat favored. And don't forget, with Joker in the lineup before that loss, the Nuggets had only lost 4 times on the home court. So what you did in game two by giving it back in 3, yes, obviously you have to win tonight, but they still got to figure a way how to win one more game in Denver, which a game 5 and a game 7, it's going to be real tough.
Well, on top of that, the Nuggets haven't even played their best offensively. I mean, throughout the playoffs, you saw those games where, especially at home, they're putting up 120 plus. And obviously, these games with the Heat are a little slower pace, and the defense has risen a little bit. But I'd be, if I'm a Heat fan or anything, anyone with a Heat ticket, I'd be concerned that we're going to see an absolute show from the Nuggets offensively one of these nights here. I don't know about tonight or not, but especially if you're talking about the Heat having to win one in Denver, that would be what I'd be concerned about and less optimistic for there.
Well, and you take game 2 and Miami and Spoelstra, Pat Riley, and Jimmy Bucket's got to be saying, all right, we figured this thing out. And then Denver's like, not so fast. So not just Joker, okay, not just Joker, but Murray both with triple doubles. I mean, and everyone was talking about Porter was going to be the shining star. You watch Porter's going to go off, and here back to 2 guys, triple double. I'm like, oh my God.
Right. And this is one where if Jimmy Butler puts the Heat on his back to win this somehow, then he absolutely deserves it, and it'll be one of the greatest performances ever. But Jokic's performance the other night, and if he ends up winning this finals. He's going to deserve it, and this will be what is obviously the cornerstone of his early legacy, and pretending before obviously we see what happens the next handful of years. But I don't know. Actually, getting into it now, what are you leaning any certain way as far as tonight is concerned? Because I'm a little more torn. I don't feel as strongly as I typically do in a spot where I think a team down 2-1 can bounce back. I think it's possible, but I'm not over the moon about it by any means.
Well, I mean, other than the triple doubles, I mean, the glaring rebounding edge was like plus 25, 27, or whatever the stupid number is. Haslam can't bend down to tie your shoes, so you can't bring him in. Who can help them down there? It's Bam and a cloud of dust.
Right.
So even if you slow down and let's just say both of them don't have triple doubles. Let's say Porter now jumps into the scoring. Who is it going to be? I mean, the Heat would have to shoot 49, 50% again from three. It's like one of these, you don't want to get into a track meet with this team. You really want the old style first one to 100 wins. I mean, it's just, they're in such a tough spot. Listen, if you got a Denver future at 12-1, you should just sit back and enjoy the game. As I say, it's Friday, it's payday. Enjoy the popcorn. Part of me just, I don't know, just has one more swing in the Heat. I don't know if I'm going to go down there. We released the Heat the other night. Just looking at the numbers, I think there's value, and I hate that word. Value is only value when you cash a ticket. If you had Denver in Game 3, you have no problem going back to them in Game 4. It's the people that had Miami in Game 3 to go back. I still believe. I believe in Spoelstra. I believe in buckets. I believe that they can hit from three-point land. I don't know if I believe if they can rebound the damn basketball.
No, you're right. Bam had 17 rebounds, and they got out-rebounded by almost, I think, over 20 rebounds. It's, I don't know. I mean, are you going to throw Cody Zeller in there for more than 5 minutes? I mean, that's a quick disaster waiting to happen there, obviously. So, you're right. It's a cloud of dust after Bam.
How about I'll call up Alonzo Mourning, Chris Bosh. I mean, someone come down, throw a uni on, please help.
Yeah, and like you said, Haslam obviously is not touching the floor for more than 10 seconds at the end of the game. There, he got a shot up the other night, I think, but no, and so many. You either need Jimmy Butler to be superhero Jimmy like he was a few times in the other rounds, and a mix of that. And you need at least two of these other role players to have at least 15 points if you're Miami and hit 3 out of 4 like Caleb. I mean, Caleb Martin was, 2 for 5, I think, from 3 the other night. But, a couple of these guys throwing up goose eggs or 1 for 7s from Max Strus from the field, obviously, that's not going to do it.
I'm looking at the true number. The true number was 3 juiced minus 115, which means the next move obviously is to 3.5. It was a 210.5. I'm looking at circa 3.5 with a 211. I do see at penny, which means it's coming back. I see a 3.5 juice to a penny, which means, again, if more money starts trickling in, it could go back to 3. So I will tell everyone on the show here, listen, I'd buy the hook. I'd take it to 4. I'd sprinkle a little pizza and beer money on the money line on Miami. And I'm going to ask you this now. Are you seeing 104 on the Miami team total?
Let me double check. That sounds correct. 104.5.
And so what are they putting Denver today at 107.5, 108?
Yep, 107.
I mean, I'll get real cute. I'll say Miami team total over, Denver under. But again, this is pizza and beer. This is maybe one of the spots. Listen, if you like Miami today, you're afraid of the spread. You don't like the money line. You don't know if they're going to cover. Then take their team total over the 104, 104.5.
Yeah.
There. It's Friday nights. You and I know when we do our shows Friday night, shit happens on Friday night, and I just think shit might happen.
I think so too. And honestly, as far as this total is concerned, it's the lowest one we've seen in the series. And I saw the majority of bets and money on the over, and people, flocking to the, a little bit lower total, trying to go. It could be another one that's another rock fight, like you said, first one to 100, 105 max. That's kind of where I'm leaning as far as liking the under a little bit more than the spread either way there.
I agree. And especially don't forget, this started at a 219, the first game.
Yeah.
Went crashing under. They drop it to 215. I think it landed on 219 the second game. And now these totals are going to just keep dropping lower, lower, and lower. So I do slightly lean to the under as well. And again, it's Custard's last stand. South Beach Friday night. What was it? Tubbs and Crockett, or Crockett and Tubbs will be there, and all the stars will be there. So I don't know what it is. Listen, I'll have egg on my face on Monday when we do the show. Don't worry about
it. Yeah. No, I'm as a fan, I'm rooting for a good. I don't want to see a gentleman sweep here, or a 4-2 beating where all the wins are not really any. Most of them aren't that actually close games or anything. So I am rooting as far as fan is concerned, and that's honestly keeping me away from throwing anything on the Heat, because I'm like, am I being driven by just wanting this to be as good as it can be, or am I actually thinking this out rationally? So I'll lean towards the under with some popcorn if I'm doing anything.
And I just got a text, and earlier this morning I was crossing the TV and I heard move from the 15-day to the 60, and I called up my buddy. I says, hey, do some work for me. He just texted me. I'm telling you, Shyster Riley, the biggest shyst in the history, and I don't care how bad those other players are doing. Kopech has turned it around, okay? And I don't know what else is going. I just got the text, Sale moved to the 60-day DL. So again, death taxes and Chris Sale. That guy, I'm telling you, he's a thief, just stealing checks.
You are right, and Mr. Kopech, I'm glad you acknowledged it, because 3 out of the last 4, the one he had one ugly one, but still had 10 Ks, but 3 out of the last 4, he's been dynamite. We'll see tomorrow there. So, I think it's him versus Sandy Alcantara tomorrow, who needs a bounce back one of these days too. So, anyways, we heading to the baseball diamond right now.
Let's do it.
All righty, pretty solid slate tonight. Getting these Friday games underway. We'll get to the Sox in a minute. Both are Sox, I imagine. Yours is a little more interesting than White Sox and Marlins, but anyways.
No. Hey, by the way, the talk on the back east here is Cora's unhappy. Cora's been dealt a hand that this team is just it's bad, and their shining star Verdugo just gets benched because he wasn't hustling. Cora and Bloom have had issues now for a while. The writing's on the wall. This team is going nowhere. Just look at the offseason. They let Evaldi go. They let Walker go. Both of them were pitchers of the month in May. And it's just been awful. And the latest, and this is breaking news, the Miami Hurricanes, who let their coach go yesterday, rumor has it that they're hot and horny for Mr. Cora. Again, a bad weekend here in New York might lead to him just going to brass and say, hey guys, just let's cut to the chase here. You don't want me, because Bloom's going to be gone at the end of the year anyway. So usually they'll just clean the whole house out. So Cora will say, hey guys, give me the summer off. Let me go see Jeff on the Cape and watch some Cape League baseball games. Let me go see what the Hurricanes are talking about. But a bad weekend in the Bronx, and you could see some action early on Monday.
I was not tuned into that as well. And I'm Matt, I haven't asked you to this point. Have you been affected by the haze smokiness as far as what's going on up north at all?
Okay, so we didn't have the Armageddon that New York City had. I'm 4.5 hours away from New York City. Yesterday, hazy, smoky. It wasn't like that. When there's a fire local, it wasn't that way, but it was hazy. Yes, it was. So it reached yesterday. Today we've had some rain, so it's not like yesterday, but yes, nothing zero like New York.
Right.
But it did reach us yesterday.
Yeah, it's when you were talking about the series this weekend, it clicked in my head that I haven't asked you about what if it's happening at all in your neck of the woods at all. So hopefully it doesn't get worse for you over the next week or so, and hopefully it gets better overall. So all right, first couple up, and then we'll get to Red Sox Yankees as well. Diamondbacks Tigers, 5:40 my time, 6:40 your time. Merrill Kelly, Michael Lorenzen, Detroit, the home team in this one. Lorenzen's actually been a decent spot so far in the Detroit lineup. Had a few hiccups, but last time dominated my White Sox, 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. Merrill Kelly, on the other hand, 7-3 record, has been pretty solid. 8 Ks last time, over 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. Arizona minus what are we at? Minus 140 for this one. A little too good to be true with the spiraling Detroit Tigers over here. I don't know what the losing streak's at for Detroit. I don't think they've won since I know they got roughed up by the White Sox a week or so ago. They've what have they lost? 6 in a row. Sorry. Too good to be true here for Merrill Kelly and the Diamondbacks from your perspective.
The line smells, first of all. The team totals, I mean, Arizona's been raking. Their team total's only up 4.5. Detroit back home for some home cooking. You know what really smells to me in this game, Riley, is the under-over. This is what I would think that you'd think is a first 1 to 5 or 6 wins the game. Yet my true number was an 8.5. And I'm looking right now, and it's flat 8s juiced under. This, as much as I want to say over. This, if I had to go anywhere in this game, I would take the little wink from Vegas, and I take the under 8. And I'm not an under player.
Right, and I mean Detroit's offense has been putrid. I could see Lorenzen's great again for another couple in a row here. I could see it, and Detroit, at least the last 5 that I'm staring at, they haven't gotten over 3, and like you said, Arizona raking right now. So, that's an interesting thing to be aware of there. Texas and Tampa, same time. Heaney versus Glasnow for that matchup. Tampa, the home team. Glasnow, his what is this? Start number 3 for Glasnow. So far, not too bad. 3 earned runs over 4 1/3 his first time out. 5 1/3 last time against Red Sox. 4 hits, 1 earned run, and 3 walks, 6 Ks. So obviously he's still kind of getting his feet wet. I'm not sure. What is it? 88 pitches last time, maybe about the same, maybe a little bit more this time around. And Andrew Heaney has not been terrible. He's actually been pretty good lately. Had some blow-ups earlier on in the season. Tampa minus 170 at home here, though, as the team with I don't know what their win streak is at and their side of things. I know they've got at least 5 in a row there. Staying away from the train. Is this another train getting off the tracks, or is this a win streak stopping here at 6?
You know, Haney has been hit or miss. I think it was a couple early in the year. He had that beautiful game, a bazillion strikeouts. Glasnow, now they have to wear kid gloves here because they've had a lot of injuries in their starting staff. And so you want to make sure that 75, 85 pitch count, I think hopefully get him a lead, get him out. They're not worried about getting him, quote unquote, a win, get us 5. Just keeping an eye on the pitch count. The number, listen, one of the talks of the year has to be the Rangers this year. Their offense, they're raking. Obviously, the bad news with DeGrom and the Tommy John will be gone. My gut tells me he will not see next year, but I don't know anything there. Yeah. But again, Cy Eovaldi to the rescue. I said to you during spring training, that was the sign of the year right there. And, Seager and the boys are raking. But the number tells me it's a Rays number. How would I get in there? I take a look at the Rays minus the hook the first 5 innings. You can get them to get to 5 or better today at plus money at plus 105. So I'd look Rays team total over 4.5, plus 105, plus 110. Rays minus the hook first 5. And that's how I would get into that game.
I like it. And as far as Heaney's concerned, you could, if you want to make the case that his last year was kind of just a career year with the Dodgers, as far as the pitching shop that goes on over there. Now regressing back to what he was before he went over there, I could absolutely see it. He hasn't been bad this year. He's had a couple blow-ups, but I could absolutely see a few more blow-ups on the horizon for him coming up there for Texas there. So heading over to New York now. Red Sox and Yankees. Garrett Whitlock on the mound for the Red Sox. Garrett Cole for the Yankees. Cole bounced back last time against the Dodgers. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 5 Ks after a couple of bad starts. 5 earned run each time against San Diego and Baltimore. And Whitlock's kind of been back and forth. I know last year you preferred him a lot more out of the bullpen. Are you still saying the same thing this year as far as Whitlock is concerned? Get him to the bullpen?
Yeah, and they got rid of their good arms, Walker and Evaldi. Bello started in Worcester. Whitlock was nicked up early. They don't have any arms. They don't. Now Chris Sale on the 60. And the sad thing about Chris Sale is he was actually rounding into form. And he looked like, he wasn't the Chris Sale, I'm going to rear back and throw at 96, 97, right. But he was getting people out and now on the 60-day DL, IL, whatever they call it. It's just where the Red Sox are going. But Whitlock would be best as that 7-8 guy that can give you an inning and a third every 2 days or something. Or even, I don't know if he has the mentality for the closer. He complained about getting up every other day or something. But I'm going to say this out loud. The number smells to me. And it was a 165 overnight with an 8. It's down to 145 and an 8 under minus 15 cents at Circa. It smells to me. And the Yankees have had pretty good success against Whitlock. We stole him from the Yankees. He was put on their 40-man or somehow, some way we stole him from him. Cole, we went against him, I think, 2 starts ago when they lost. Now don't forget, I think Judge is out and a few others are still out. Yankees aren't that offensive juggernaut that we expect. I would just say Yankee fans and Yankee backers, buyer beware tonight. That's all. The number smells to me, Riley.
I mean, if this is one of the most lopsided ones of the night as far as bet percentage and money percentage and everything, especially with the way Red Sox are playing and Garrett Cole in the mound after a really good start last time, I'm glad you said it because I'm a fan of trying to pick out these Garrett Cole starts of maybe some regression. And this one was stinking to me. So I could absolutely see the bounce back there. And I think a lot of people would be expecting a bounce back from the Yankees. They won the second of the 2 yesterday, but lost 2 out of 3 to the White Sox this week. So that's an interesting one. I'm glad you at least buyer beware. I'm glad you said it in that way. Kansas City and Baltimore, Lynch versus Tyler Wells there for Baltimore there. Wells last time out, 5 1/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 9 Ks. His last 2 have actually been pretty good. Lynch, on the other hand, this will be start number 3 for him. Not anything terrible, nothing special so far. He was, this will be year number 3 for him. He hasn't been fantastic too much yet, so. I don't know. Any love for the ugly Royals here tonight, or is this going to be a ho-hum solid start from the Orioles here?
The price is right, meaning it was a 175 with an 8.5. Right now it's 185 with an 8. So the total went down a half. I'm looking at the team totals, 4.5 minus 110 either which way for Baltimore, 3.5 juiced under for Kansas City. Something smells again. Something's not adding up. Now I'm not saying to run to the window with Kansas City today. I'm not saying that, but we had the Baltimore team total over yesterday, and it took heroics in the 7th, 8th, and 9th to get there. As we talked about last year, and I'm going to say again, this is the pesky Baltimore Orioles. They don't stop. They give you 27 outs every game. I couldn't back Kansas City with your money. As much as everyone's talking about how bad Oakland is, Oakland only has 4 less wins than Kansas City, okay? Okay, so can we start talking about the Royals? I know George Brett's
Uh,
not there, Saberhagen's not there. I get all that, guys, but they're 4 more wins than the Oakland A's that are tanking. So then, what is Kansas City doing here? So, for me, if you want to take Baltimore to get to 5, do that. Baltimore minus the hook first 5, no problem there.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And then the third worst team is a collection of about 10 teams almost. 26 wins is the next closest to the Royals. 8 more wins than the Royals. So I'm glad you said it because I've been eyeing it a little bit just looking at these standings how bad it's been. And everyone and obviously it's easy with you got the possums in the press box for Oakland, so the circus has been there, so I can understand it. So the Royals better be sending some thank you cards over to that possum and everyone else going on over there in Oakland.
Thank you. It's like this, and I wasn't here for the very start of the show, so I'm just going to say this. Congratulations to the Oklahoma Sooners softball team, national champs, winners of 53 games in a row. That's 5-3 in a row. Okay. And no one's talking about it. Okay. ESPN, Fox, all these big platforms with the damn check marks and all that. Can someone grab this team, grab the coach, and can you do something for them? I mean, if LeBron went out and scored 53 in a row, that's all we'd hear about from Colin Cowherd, ESPN, and whatever. And I know that's a bad take there. Apologies. But the fact is, a collegiate D1 team won 53 in a row. Hats off.
I'm glad you said it, and I wish I would have said it at the top. And honestly, it seemed like the popularity for it is picking up these last handful of years. So there's really no reason for there not to be some more love, and especially with something like that. So I'm glad you said it, and obviously you guys were talking college baseball talk a little earlier, and that's going to heat up as well. So hopefully that gets some love as well. So moving back into the MLB, Dodgers and Phillies. Phillies still trying to get out of the 500 back and forth cycle there. Ranger Suarez on the mound for the Phillies. This is, I guess he's had a handful of starts. Last one finally a little bit better. Still a lot of hits, a lot of balls in play, but only 1 earned run allowed. 8 hits, 7 innings, 1 walk, 3 Ks. Dodgers, on the other hand, have Victor Gonzalez on the mound, looking like a bullpen start here. And Dodgers only, what are we at? Minus 115, I'm looking at, I believe. Is that correct? Dodgers about minus 115 with a Ranger Suarez on the mound. I don't know. Is this one sticky to you? Ranger Suarez, another good one. I'm concerned about Ranger Suarez, honestly, but I don't know. Any love for Philly here on the minus 102 at home here?
Let me give you the bad beat. One of the bad beats of the week. We had Dodgers team total 2 days ago over 6.5. And in the third inning, they had 6 runners on second and third, 1 out. They don't score. And they didn't score the rest of the game. And then it's 6-6 bottom of the ninth. And I'm like, all right, well, just get through the ninth. And then we will get to the 10th with a guy on second. We'll get our 7. Everyone will be happy. Nope, 2-run walk-off homer. Thanks for playing. It's a bullpen game. The line flip-flopped. The original number was 115 Philly. Now it's circa, it's 112 Dodgers. The funny here is team total Phillies is 4.5 juiced under, and Dodgers 4.5 juiced over. I'm going to shock the world here and say it probably goes under 9. How's that sound?
Yeah, I can get behind that one as well. I'm not a fan of getting too involved when you've got one of those reliever bullpen starts on one side of things. But I agree with you. I could see that as well. Let's see. Moving on down the line, Mets and Pirates. Miguel and I believe it's Rich Hill tonight for the Pirates. Rich Hill, so far this season has been obviously a little all over the place as he typically is. Last time out was not very bad. 6 2/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run, solo shot, 3 walks and 6 Ks. Mets and Tyler McGill. Pretty similar, 5 1/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 5 walks though, 5 Ks. He has also been fairly hit or miss. For me, this pitching matchup is a little all over the place. The total up at 9.5 here. I'm seeing. Any love for another good Rich Hill start? Or are we looking at some regression, a bad one, regression, whatever you want to call it, from Rich Hill or either of these guys? Honestly.
I think the Mets nation, TJ, I apologize if you're listening, um, cursed. Absolutely cursed. Alonso takes one, what, on the wrist, MRI. It doesn't look good there. I don't know if he's going on the IL. He's already been placed. I don't know if he's playing today. Big lead against the Braves, and there's poor Frank the Tank, who's going to hit the walk-off when they were up 10-7. Well, then I think they lost, what, 13-10 or something stupid. They did just, it's one of those years which, thanks for playing. Better luck next year. They were minus 120 on our board with a 9. Now it's circa Pittsburgh minus 114 with a 9 over minus 15 cents. I'm not going to back Rich Hill. I'm not going to back the Pirates as a favorite, but I'm not going to back the Mets either. My only play would be the Mets. There's no way in holy hell that the Pirates with Rich Hill should be favored over the Mets. I'm sorry, it's not. But I'm staying far, far away. If I was leaning, I would take the Mets tonight.
Yep. No, I think I'm with you. And to add insult to injury, on top of the 6-game losing streak, you've got Atlanta, who obviously just took 3 from the Mets, but Atlanta, Miami, and Philly all with at least a 5 or 6 game win streak on top of the Mets' 6-game losing streak here. So a little bit of separation going both ways there in the NL East there. So let's go ahead.
The buck isn't stopping here, but they're going to start to chirp, and they want Buck out. It's not Buck's fault. I mean, it's just injuries. I mean, listen, when you back up the Brinks trucks to 2 40-year-old pitchers, that you're spending $90 million a year between the two of them, this is what you get. And then, Alonso now being hurt, I think he's got like 22, 23, 21 homers, whatever it is. Francisco Lindor, they're getting tired of him. Stop treating him like a superstar. He's not. And they're not getting that clutch hitting. Go back to spring training. I said the ideal spot for JD Martinez, other than the Marlins, of course, was someone like the Mets. You need that professional hitter in the middle of that lineup. They don't have it. So it's going to be a long year for the Mets, just like the Red Sox.
Yep. It's going to be a struggle there. So heading over to the AL, AL East is the home team here. Minnesota and Toronto. Minnesota with a little bit of losing streak, leading the division at 31-32, giving my White Sox a fighting chance. 3.5 games behind them. So thank you to the Minnesota Twins right now. But Sonny Gray on the mound has obviously been very good this year. Starting to regress a little bit, at least mostly across the board. Aside from he's still getting out of jams, is what he's been able to do lately. Last time out, 6 2/3, 10 hits allowed, only 3 earned run on those 10 hits, no walks and 2 Ks. First month of the season was fantastic. Like I said, regressed a little bit, still has not allowed more than 3 earned runs. Do we think that is on the horizon anytime soon, or even tonight, as far as Mr. Sonny Gray is concerned, or do we has the regression already happened and now we're looking for a bounce back from Sonny Gray?
One of the strangest things I've seen all year on DraftKings, first 5, Sonny Gray minus 125 and Toronto plus 105. And then I look at the minus the hook, and you only could get plus the hook on Minnesota. You couldn't get the minus, which makes 0 sense to me. So I don't even think DraftKings knows what to do with this game. I did see in the afternoon money coming in on Minnesota. It has subsided now. Jays minus 120 at circa 8.5 over. I did have a slight lean to Minnesota, but I think you brought something up good, and Scotty Webb was here. I think he would add to it. Sooner or later, you're not going to be able to escape from those jams. And what better team than Toronto? I mean, they're as long as they come. So I'll talk myself into a slight lean on the Jays today.
Yeah, I'm with you. And what's keeping me away is Minnesota during this losing streak. Their offense has been putrid, so maybe a bounce back offensively is on the horizon for them. But as far as the other side of things, Toronto against Sonny Gray, I'm not sure I'm diving into anything tonight with this one. But my radar's been up on old Sonny Gray there to finally start giving up some runs there. So Houston and Cleveland. Cleveland, the home team, Christian Javier, Logan Allen for Cleveland. Houston obviously got out of the 500 spot that they had been in, and obviously been playing better as of late. Christian Javier has been very good himself. One earned run in each of the last 4 times out. Still only going about 5-6 innings most of the time, but limited in base runners for the most part there. As far as Logan Allen is concerned, he has been solid himself. 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned, 2 walks, 4 Ks his last time out. Are we 24-year-old Logan Allen, rookie? We thinking of some regression on his side of thing at any point here, or is this I think we're close to even pick 'em on this one. Are we looking at a Cleveland number on this one here against the Astros?
Overnight, Houston minus 125 with a 7.5 juiced over. As we speak right now at Circa, the Guardians minus 106 and the Astros minus 104 and 8 under. The Guardians seem to have woken up. And let me tell you the story of the Guardians with ECSI. April 0-3, put them on the shelf to the start of May. May 0-2, put them on the shelf. June 0-2, back on the shelf. I can't. As soon as I get off of them, they start winning. Of course, it helps when the Red Sox come to town. But with that said, there's no way in holy hell I would back the Guardians over the Houston tonight. I wouldn't. But I would stay far, far, far away. Lean Astros. But as we talk about, Guardians starting to put something together. You know I'm a big Tito fan. Jose had 3 homers yesterday. Not 1, not 2, but 3, I think. And so they were offensively challenged. We never questioned their pitching. So they might slowly be putting something together here, Riley.
I didn't hear. I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that whole positive spiel about the Cleveland Guardians there. I'm going to pretend I didn't hear it. But no, you're absolutely right. As looking at the division, I look at it optimistically and kind of not predicted, but optimistically predicted this fall from the Twins. But then it's like, well, you've got Cleveland jammed right in the middle of the two of you there. That could do the exact opposite and get scorching hot here. So I hope that doesn't happen for my own sake. But yeah, as far as Javier is concerned, Javier and Valdez, I'm big fans of both those guys. So I'm taking a seat on this one. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting game in that one tonight.
But you should be happy though. You're 3.5 back.
Oh, I know.
You have a baseball season.
Yes.
You have a baseball
You're right.
season. I
You're
don't.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. I am not. That's not what I'm saying. It was just more of even if we start playing better, here's Cleveland too. But no, I'm with you. And honestly, we'll get to the White Sox in a second, but they'd be even better standing. They've had a handful of times where they're starting to gain momentum, and then the first 2 times it happened, they lose 3 out of 4 to Detroit and Kansas City, which can't happen. And now, after that, they've been winning series and just took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. So another big chance this weekend. But we'll get to that one in a second. I think it's almost up. Washington and Atlanta. Jonas Gray. I think that's Jonas Gray. Jonas Gray and Schwarber. Not Schwarber, but Schwarber, correct? Don't know much about this guy here for the Atlanta Braves tonight. He is a 20-year-old prospect making outing number 2. He's 2 1/3 last time out. No hits, no runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Josiah Gray, not Jonas Gray, sorry. Josiah Gray, 4 earned runs his last time out, 6 hits, 2 walks, 4 Ks. Anything to get into with this one? Atlanta, obviously, like I said, I don't know if it's either 5 or 6 game win streak, just swept the Mets. Took care of Arizona before that. Offense is scorching hot this week. Any way to get into this one, or is this even a little bit funky here for the Atlanta Braves number at home?
Well, I think the Nationals offensively have had spurts. They've put up some crooked numbers. You can get the Nationals to get to 5 tonight at plus 110 there. I do have on my desk right now the Braves to get a touchdown. Don't need the extra point. Currently minus 25 cents there. That's as far as I would take it. I'd look at both team totals over. I don't know what you're going to get on either side of the pitching. Now, again, a team scores 13. It's tough to go back to it. But the Braves, I think the Braves are really feeding off the fact that the Phillies and the Mets are just not playing well. And so they're trying to get that separation. And, I mean, we've said all along here, you and I, Scotty Webb, anyone talking baseball, in the National League, it's the Braves team I think to beat. I, I mean, the Dodgers are the Dodgers. I get that. Padres
Yeah.
can't put it together right now. We're still waiting on some other teams, but the Braves, top to bottom, is the team to beat in the National League, and I just don't like going in front of him. And that's what Spencer Strider is struggling right now too.
Yeah. I know. And honestly, not talking so much about this game specifically tonight, but on paper, we talked about the two dumpster fires, Oakland and Kansas City. Washington's done a good job of improving where they've been the last couple of years, but you could absolutely, on paper, you might consider them the third worst team in the league, and you could see them really starting to slide. I'm not trying to jump in and fade them after a 4-game winning or losing streak and trying to tag along and, hope that it goes for 10, 12 games or something like that. They could obviously bounce back a little bit. But in the bigger picture, I expect them to fall and kind of be that third, team just behind Oakland and Kansas City there. So, let's see, a handful of games left. Let's skip to the White Sox now. Marlins and White Sox. Yuri Perez for the Marlins has been pretty good through a handful of starts. Hasn't gone past 5 innings, but 4 to 5 innings in all 5 starts here. Excuse me. 5 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks. Last time out. He is 20 years old, prospect for the Marlins. Dylan Cease, on the other hand, for the White Sox. Starting to turn the wheels a little bit. He still hasn't had that dynamite start for the most part yet. 5 1/3, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and 6 Ks last time. So starting to get the stuff behind him a little bit here. White Sox minus 125 at home here against the Marlins. Obviously I'm a little biased. I try to stay as unbiased as can be, but I've been a little too biased with Dylan Cease this year, Jeff. So I do need some help with where your thoughts are at with this game and where your thoughts are at with Dylan Cease himself.
You're not going to like what I'm going to say. My overnight number initially for the White Sox was, where are we here? White Sox, minus 140. With the Marlins plus 120 with an 8. As we speak, they just moved the number at Circa because he knew where I was going with this too. He just had it down to 123 and plus 111 on the Marlins. He's reading my notes as we speak. It's down to 121 at Circa. It's a Miami number. And listen, I am a huge Cease fan. I would just say buyer beware if you wanted the White Sox today. I would just suggest trying to tiptoe into the first 5, even though I like what your back end lately is doing. Liam's back, and I think you got the teams that succeed the best in modern day baseball is build that thing from the back end, and then just try to get the closer, the bridgies, get that 7th, 8th lock up, and then hopefully your starters can get you to 5 and 6, which doesn't happen often. But with that said, Cease, you can get that game. A lot of strikeouts other than Arraez. I always pronounce his name wrong. Who's the kid from Minnesota that went to Miami? Arraez?
Luis Arraez, yeah. Arraez.
Batting 404, 402.
I lost track, but it's absurd.
Yeah, I think he's at 404 right now, maybe 402. It's a Miami Marlin number, guys. So tread lightly if you're on the White Sox. I would suggest getting into the White Sox first 5 if you're a White Sox backer. Or if you're really ballsy on the White Sox today, you can get their team total over 4.5 at plus 120. But again, it is a Marlin number today.
Yep. Optimistically, Arraez, not bad numbers, but he's not a Dylan Cease basher. 5 for 19, so 263 average. Nothing to scoff at, but not a total Dylan Cease killer. So that does help a little bit, but no, you're not wrong. And then the White Sox, the White Sox make pitchers like this, young pitchers like this, sometimes look. And Perez has been good in a lot of spots, but the White Sox have been a team. This group have made a lot of these young pitchers look a little better than they need to so far in their early careers there. So would not surprise me at all. But like you said, Kopech and Sandy Alcantara tomorrow, so we could be turning to that one. Let's see, handful left. Athletics, the ugly Oakland Athletics with Sam Mull on the mound. 31-year-old, going to be a bullpen day for the A's, and Adrian Hauser for the Brewers. is a giant question mark. He's got a 6-earned run outing a couple times ago. Last time, 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run. No walks, 2 strikeouts. Any love for these Oakland A's against Sam Moll, or is there any way to get into this one if the Brewers are cruising to an easy victory?
I get on the desk right now, Brewers team total over 5.5 minus 110. The number was 235 with a 9. Now 253 at Circa with a 9.5. Obviously, there's no way to get in. First 5, even minus the hook is like minus 150. I know a lot of people would say, well, Jeff, let's take the run line full game, but you're only guaranteeing yourself 24 swings. You're not guaranteed the 9th, obviously. You can take a swing there if you want. But again, if you like the Brewers today to win on a bullpen game versus Oakland, just take the Brewers to get to 6, and it's minus 110. So that's how I'd play that.
Yeah. And I mean, you look at Oakland, they did just take 2 out of 3 from Pittsburgh, but it was the end of the losing streak. You win one, and then you win the second one, and their offense 11 and 9 runs. So I'm not going to hold my breath for Oakland to put. If I eat crow, I eat crow. I could care less if I'm wrong about wrongfully predicting what the A's do. But 20 runs in 2 days, I won't hold my breath for a 10 spot.
And as we've been diving into the props here at ECSI, and I know I'm dipping into the dark side, 8-2 in the MLB this week in props. And here's a prop. This is the first ever stolen base prop given out by ECSI. You can get even money that Mr. Ruiz from Oakland gets a stolen base tonight. So if you wanted a little piece of Oakland, even money that Ruiz steals a base. So there you go. There's your Oakland love for the day.
Okay. I like a little. That's an exciting one. I like that one. I might have to dip my toe into that one. Reds and Cardinals. Next one up. Cardinals, just when they had starting to put some wins on paper there at the end of May, turning back ugly again. They did just win their last one against Texas, but lost 2 out of 3 there. A 1-0 victory. Now they've got the I'd call the Reds a little pesky where they've been. That's another team that obviously you would have considered one of the bottom 5 teams, and they still could be. But obviously call up De La Cruz this week, and he's been solid so far. So Jordan Montgomery on the mound for them, for the Cardinals, tonight. 1 earned run last time out, 4 unearned runs, 1 earned run, 4 hits, 5 2/3 innings pitched, 5 Ks. Ben Lively, on the other hand, for the Reds, has been actually not bad. Last time out was finally a regression start, 5 earned runs. We seeing Ben Lively as a punching bag again tonight, or is he going to bounce back from what he last saw there?
I was talking to a friend and colleague today about the Reds. Call up your local shop and see if you could put in a future, not for next year, the year after, on the Reds. This team is bringing up some youth. They have some young arms as it is, and I'm not saying they're going to go out next year and, be the big red machine. You need a couple years to get everyone together here.
Yeah.
So not next year, the year after. I know he'd be holding your, it'd just be a fictitious ticket for a couple of years, but look out for the Reds. They're the talk. They're the talk of the MLB with Cruz coming up. And here's why I'm going to say that. My overnight number was St. Louis minus 185 with a 9. It is now 169 with an 8. It's a statement to me. Everyone's hearing how bad St. Louis is, the locker room, the clubhouse, the managers. It's not a pretty scene in St. Louis, yet the real number is 185. I would look to get into St. Louis minus the hook in the first 5. I think you can get that at minus 120. Let me just, I'm going to look just to see here what this is for everyone here. St. Louis minus the hook. Minus 25 cents. I don't like giving that. At Bet Online, it's minus 20. Heritage, minus 20. Bookmaker, minus 22 cents. So St. Louis Cardinals, minus the hook, minus 20 cents is where I would try to go in this game.
I like it. And as far as that division as a whole, we haven't talked about it much. I mean, you've got the Brewers 34-29. They've got a negative 15 run differential. If they fall through the floor, it's anybody's division. Do you have any? Do you think Milwaukee's going to be fine and kind of ho hum and 85 wins they'll be fine for the division, or do you have somebody coming out of this thing that's not Milwaukee there?
I think it's still St. Louis. I do.
Okay.
I think they'll find a way. Last year they got hot at the right time. I don't believe in Milwaukee. I just think St. Louis has too much firepower, and they're just going to have to figure out the pitching.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm with you as far as not believing in Milwaukee, and I was high on St. Louis early in the season, so I'm kind of with you there. I just want to try and believe in one of these other three teams, and it's like, well, Pittsburgh's most likely going to regress and not finish above 500, probably. I don't believe in the Cubs pitching staff so much, or top to bottom for the most part there, and then obviously Cincinnati, like you said, just a little too young. So the opportunities are still there for the St. Louis Cardinals there, and obviously the Brewers, they could win 83 games and win the division, but I'm with you as far as not quite believing in the Brewers.
And back to the Cubs, as I was going to say, Mark Pryor, Rick Sutcliffe, Kerry Wood is not walking through that door. If you wanted some pizza and beer, funny money, and really take a swing, I would put it on the Reds to win that, just because they got some young arms, Lodolo, Green. They got the kids coming up. That would be your pizza and beer fun route for, a fun team. I just think when everything's said and done, maybe even it takes the Cardinals to fire the manager to shake this thing up, to say, hey, guys, we mean business. But I still will lean come September that the Cards will be the team to win that division.
Fair enough. I'm not disagreeing with you at all there. So heading out west, San Diego, Colorado. San Diego, obviously a team that has not lived up to expectations, lived up to hype by any means. 29-33. Darvish on the mound for them. Austin Gomber for the Colorado Rockies at home. Gomber, 6.99 ERA. 2 2/3 last time. 2 earned runs over 6 hits, 3 walks, 4 Ks. So they yanked him after a couple there, or during the third inning there. Has obviously just been all over the damn place. Yu Darvish, on the other hand, very good last time out. 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 9 Ks. Has had a couple times where he's been able to duplicate and then regress. Any love for you tonight to go 2 in a row and then maybe regress? Are we just going to keep with that trend, or you just staying far away from the Darvish train altogether?
I want to go and say early this year we had the Padre team total over 6.5 in Colorado, and I think they got it within the second or third inning. I'm going to go back to them getting a touchdown today, over 6.5 plus 100. Maybe Tatis homer, maybe it's a Soto 5 for 5 yesterday. Soto gets back on track. Maybe it's Manny or Man. I don't know. I think they get the touchdown with the extra point. My numbers overnight for the Padres were 11.5 with a minus 170. Now it's circa 182 with an 11.5. I'm expecting big things from the Padres tonight. I like their team total to get a touchdown or better.
All righty. Fair enough. I could. That could be that one could be a fun one for sure. There. Best pitching matchup of the day coming up next. 8:38 my time, 9:38 your time. Seattle and the Angels. Luis Castillo and Mr. Shohei Ohtani. These two guys. That'll be Apple TV Plus tonight. Ohtani last time out. Roughed up a little bit after a couple nice ones. 6 innings, 9 hits, 5 earned runs, a couple bombs, 1 walk, 6 Ks. Castillo, on the other hand, has been really solid this last 3. 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 6 Ks. The previous 2 before that, no earned runs allowed at all. So he's been nails these last 3. Any love for a Shohei bounce back at home here? He's obviously I've been talking on the shows where I'm by myself. The difference between him at home and away. Still very good on the road, but has been, since he's elevated into the guy we know, he's been fantastic at home here. So any love for him here at home tonight, or you liking the Castillo train to continue here?
Public's all in on Seattle. I had a 130 on LA overnight with a 7. Right now down to 114 with a 7.5 juice under. Here's a key number I'm looking at. Overnight, minus a hook was plus 5 cents. on the Shohei train. It is now minus a hook plus 25 cents. They are buying Seattle first 5 plus the hook. As you said, he's a different pitcher at home. Did not have a good start. I look for the Shohei bounce back tonight, and I'll give everyone take a look at the money line on him first 5. And if you really want to get cute, take him minus the hook first 5 and get the plus 25 cents. But I like Shohei and the Angels in the bounce back.
I think I'm with you, and I'm not trying to say Luis Castillo is going to have a big regression, but any 7.5 we always obviously see for the best pitchers. These two guys, any thoughts that this one could have been 6.5, 7 with the caliber of these two guys pitching tonight, or do you think 7.5 is fair?
I think you're going to get the regression on the Castillo side. And also, They don't score a lot of runs for Shohei either. So, what do you got? Xander, we were on the Padres, by the way. Sanchez, by the way, 6 homers, 4 with the Padres since joining them. And I just got updated. Xander will play today. So, again, good news for our Padres team total there. Look for the Show Train Express tonight. And listen, we were on Castillo. I think it was his last start at home. He was great. He was nails. But I think you're going to get the bounce back from the Angels tonight.
I think I'm with you. I was trying to pull up Shohei's strikeout prop to see if that was anything eye-opening or not. Let's see. Actually, I guess we could look at both these guys. The Castillo 6.5 over minus 150. This one doesn't have Shohei listed here. Either way, over minus 150. They're playing some goofy games with you there.
I can help you on the Shohei one. We added a new source, and it's been an amazing first week. The line is 7.5 on Shohei. We have him projected at 8.29. But here's the problem is, again, over 7.5 is minus 146. And we got him projected to get to 8, almost 8.5, which you can't have a half, of course. But we do have him getting over on the 7.5.
Yeah. No, they're making it tough to get there for you. If you want to go, you'd have to go, if you go over 8.5, 9 plus, you can get it's plus 125, but that's if you're really looking for a big one. But that's kind of a tax to pay to get to 9. I mean, he could be almost perfect and have 8 strikeouts.
No, you're right. So again, I would not lay the juice to get to 8, but I would, again, pizza and beer money and take the plus money to get to 9. I don't have a problem with that tonight.
Yeah. Sure, and if you really think Castillo's going to regress, under 6.5 Ks is plus money as well. So, all right, last one up, Cubs and the Giants there. Giants above 500 now, minus 118 at home. DeSclafani for the Giants, Stroman for the Cubs. Cubs losers of 4 in a row. Giants, obviously, like I said, playing some good ball right now. Let me see, trying to pull up these guys here. Stroman has obviously been really, really solid this year. 4 good starts in a row, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. 1 unearned run last time out, no earned runs, 3 walks, 6 Ks last time out. So that walk number ballooned a little bit last time. DeSclafani, not so good last time out. He's been a little hit or miss. 3 innings, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, no homers, 3 walks, 2 Ks last time out. Any love either way on this one? I like Stroman in some spots, but I am certainly expecting just a big picture regression from him to some degree here. Maybe not tonight, just overall. Any thoughts that these guys are going to have that in DeSclafani's case bounce back or Stroman regression?
To me, it's a Cubs number. The Giants overnight were minus 117 with a 7.5. Right now, minus 112 with an 8 over. So Circa's expecting some runs. First one to 4 or 5 wins this game. Giants coming back home from that Colorado air. To me, it's Cubs or nothing. And listen, I'm not a huge Stroman guy, but he's been nails. The number's too low for me. Like if I look tomorrow, Where are they? Oh, I don't even. They don't have pitchers listed. That's one of the games I don't have numbers for yet. The number screams Cubs to me. The number tonight screams Cubs.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to pull it up as well. I'm not disagreeing with y'all. I see Hendricks for the Cubs and nothing for the Giants yet tomorrow. Which we'll see what the thoughts are there. Hendricks, we obviously laughed about last time, but I believe that does it for the entire MLB slate, my friend. Any change on that NBA line yet, or are we still at 3.5 there?
Let's go back.
Oh, I see 3 in some spots now. Back to 3 now.
Vegas everywhere's a 3. I called it at 45 minutes ago. I told you where it was going.
I even see, I don't know if this is accurate, BetMGM's got it down to 2.5.
Yep, money's coming in. And shout out to Shady. Hey, Shady, it's been a while. I'm going to try to get your buddy and our buddy, Mr. Mergis, on next Thursday. We haven't done a show in weeks. Glad you jumped on board here. Have a great, great weekend. Tell Mr. Mergis I'll be reaching out if you do talk to him. Thank you so much for showing up. But yes, hats off to me. I told you it was coming. I could smell it. It's 3. And how about Penny's got it 3 minus pointing down 05. Next move 2.5. So if you were listening to this show earlier and I said, buy the hook, get it to 4, the Heat train's coming in right now. Look out. I'm not saying they're going to win and cover. I'm just telling you the money's coming in on the Heat. The Heat.
Hey, I went with the little pizza and beer on the Florida Panthers heading to overtime at plus money last night with the power play. So I might have to go a little pizza and beer tonight on the old Miami Heat money line tonight as well.
Yes. The Heat is on. We should sing a song, huh? The Heat is on.
The Heat is on.
One of my favorite movies, by the way. Before we close, I got to go to a quick commercial. I got to get this out for everyone. Take a look at this. It's our new sponsor. Great, great, great customer service. I always preach here to have as many options as possible so you can window shop. And these guys have reached out to us. I've known them for a long, long, long time, and they're good peoples. And I'm going to play the commercial right now, and then me and Riley will close. So, guys, don't leave us. Hang with us for 2 minutes, please. Thank you. Let me see if I can pull her up. And here we go.
Hey, sports fans. Are you ready for an exhilarating gaming experience? Introducing VIPClub.lv, your ultimate online sportsbook and casino. VIPClub.lv offers a vast selection of sports, from football and basketball to tennis and baseball. Bet on your favorite teams and enjoy the thrill of the game. But that's not all. Our state-of-the-art online casino offers a dazzling array of games, including slots, blackjack, roulette, and live dealer tables. Win big with their fantastic promotions, rewards, and exclusive offers. Join VIPClub.lv today and get a generous 200% match welcome bonus to start your winning streak.
And make sure to use code ECSI at sign-up.
Bet it, win it, and cash it at VIPClub.lv. Visit VIPClub.lv now and play responsibly. VIPClub.lv, your sportsbook and casino extravaganza. Must be 21 or older to play. Please gamble responsibly. Visit gambleware.org for help.
There it is, VIPClub.lv. At checkout, use the promo code ECSI. Tell them JD sent you. They'll take care of you. I mean, instant deposits. They'll match, 100%, 200%. They will get anything you need, basically. And sports, props, casinos, they got it all right there. One-stop shopping. And again, one of the best customer services I've ever used. And I'm not just blowing smoke up anyone's skirts. Mr. Jay Jones and the rest of the company has been great to us, always has. And so they said, hey, we'd love to sponsor a show. So shout out to Joseph Shea, Ben Cohen, and Cade Horton for putting that commercial together. They did a great job. And they're the guys behind the desk and the glass for us this summer. They've done amazing work, and I can't thank them enough.
And you wouldn't. This man would not lie about customer service. He can't put on a fake face about positive customer service over here. So you got to know it's authentic if the man Dawson is sporting some good customer service over here.
Listen, I get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Please use us. Please use. I do not listen to get into the ECSI circle of trust. I got to believe in you, and I got to do a lot of research. And the thousands of I got millions invested in this app. Please, but no. And so, anyways, I put my trust in these guys. And they're good people. And like I said, if you ever had a problem with them, you come reach out to me, and I can guarantee you it will be resolved in 2 seconds. So that's surprising on the Heat. That line moved like that, and it's about to go to 2.5. So if you missed the move and you believe in the Heat, you got to grab them now at 3.5. Earlier in the show, I said buy the hook, take them up to 4. Little pizza and beer money on the money line. A little over 104 or 104.5 in the team total. I don't know what's going on, Riley, but the Heat is on.
Oddly perfect timing for about the time that people get off work on a Friday afternoon, if I don't say so myself.
Yes, we haven't brought up the pizza guy, and don't be the pizza guy on payday. So I'm not telling anyone to chase the steam and the move. There you go.
Already took care of my pizza today, my friend. Don't worry about it.
Closing thoughts.
Nothing crazy. We've got, good events. Obviously, you had 2 other shows with the non Big Four sports leagues talking earlier today. So big things going on this weekend. Solid golf tournament going on this weekend. So may have some thoughts if I like anything over the weekend, as well as a good UFC card. Don't have any strong thoughts on it. Otherwise, I would have stopped you and brought anything up today. But by the time things happen tomorrow, I might bring something up on Twitter or something, because it is a pay-per-view and a pretty good card there. So, just stay tuned. Might have some thoughts on things going on this weekend, my friend.
Well, I can say this. In both my one and dones, I saved the Canadian Corey Connors. In both my one and dones, he's right there. So Hatton's had an amazing day already,
Yeah.
But again, it's a week before the major. So next week, Tuesday night, Brady Cannon will be on at 8:00. He's traveling on Wednesday. So you and I can make sure on Wednesday we get our thoughts there. I wanted to say something about the fights. Amanda, who she was supposed to fight, got hurt. So they brought in Irene Aldana. And my true number was 440. At South Point right now, Amanda's only minus 280. At Circa at 305. Everywhere else, 338, 345, 335. I'm not that guy. So I'm going to ask you, is this person that Amanda's fighting legit? Is there money coming in just because it's a big dog? Or is okay? Now Shady chimes in. Shady, give me the type in the woman that Amanda's fighting. This number's dropping bad.
She's no scrub, but the number is concerning to me a little bit, as far as typically what Amanda would be against a non-massive contender or something like that. And it is concerning. Maybe that's more about Amanda and where she's been the last year or so. But Aldana's no scrub either way, though.
Okay, so Shady says Aldana season MX. If it stays off the mat, Aldana has a chance with her boxing skills.
Yep. Yeah.
So
no, it would be another surprise, but it's not impossible. Typically we're talking. It was like 4 digits. It was like minus 1,000 during her prime, if I'm not mistaken, with Amanda Nunes here. So I'm not I'm not saying it's no doubt smash Aldana there, but it's not an easy. Let me throw $300 down to get a quick 100. I would not be in that type of I'm not typically ever in that space, but certainly not in that space of making a big wager to make a quarterback or anything. Yeah, 500 exactly.
As Shady says, Amanda's usually minus 500 or 800. So she lost, and I'm drawing a blank. Who did she lose to?
Juliana Pena, yeah. And then she avenged it last time.
And so she loses the first time, and then the second fight was Amanda just taking her down every time, and it was one of those snooze fests. But yeah. I remember the fights where Amanda fighting Ronda or Amanda fighting Cyborg, And
Yep.
once she got you and you were stunned, I've never seen a closer like it. So if these two are going to go toe to toe in box, holy to moly! I mean,
Yeah.
sign me up, please.
Yeah, no, I think the knockout potential or TKO potential is a lot of why you've got this number here. So it's going to be interesting for sure. I can't wait.
Well, I want to shout out to Shady. Shady, thank you so much. So glad you're here. Enjoy the UFC this weekend. For the Belmont, go back and check out our show with Sean Alvarez. We gave out the winner, who he likes, and the exacta there. For myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest. For the one and only Riley Magnuson at Riley_Magnuson, the one. We wish everyone a blessed day. The weekend's here. And honestly, guys, don't be that pizza guy. Don't go chasing. Don't take the rent, the mortgage, and then go to the casino, your sports bar, or, the local barbershop or whatever. Be responsible. Okay. And if you do have a problem, pick up the phone. There's an 800 number there. I think it's 800 wager, right? 800 gambler. Just ask for help. Why? Myself and Riley care. We want to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2023 and beyond. For myself, Jeff Dawson, Riley Magnuson, everyone have a great, great weekend. It's been awesome. We'll see you guys next week.